The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
The Lubavitcher Rebbe, the one that the past Lubavitcher Rebbe, so his father-in-law, which was the Rebbe before him, the sixth Rebbe, was the Rebbe. He had no children. He had no sons. He had a daughter, and the Rabbi Nachum, the last Lubavitcher Rebbe. So he was not the Rebbe at the time. His father-in-law was the Rebbe. And people used to come to see the Rebbe, his father-in-law, and they weren't religious. They weren't Shemitah mitzvahs, no yarmulke, nothing. And the Lubavitcher Rebbe, the last one, the seventh one, he would make them coffee, talk to them, take care of them. The old Hasidim, they were Mechal Shabbos, everything. The old Hasidim came to him and said, Leizu Aderech, this is not the way. You have to give, if they come without a yarmulke and without tzitzis and they don't keep Shabbos, you can't take care of them. You have to show them that they're doing the wrong thing. You have to give them musar. This is not the way you should do things. He didn't know. He said, you know what, maybe they're right. The Mechal Shabbos, you have to keep Shabbos. You can't walk in without a yarmulke. You have to give respect, and you have to give them musar. He didn't know what to do, so he went to his father-in-law, the Rebbe, and he said to them, these guys are Mechal Shabbos, everything, and I'm being nice to them, but I'm being told that I shouldn't be so nice to them, that I should make them feel bad that they're not going to change if I'm going to be nice to them, and I have to ask the Rebbe, what should I do? Should I be nice to them, or should I not be nice to them? Should I give them musar, or should I just give them a hug? So the Rebbe said something. The Rebbe, the Frieger, the one before him, the sixth Lubavitcher Rebbe, said to him the following. He said something beautiful, amazing. He said, Rabbi Why said this last week, Jacobson. He said, that if you go ask a parent, how much do you love your child? A parent would say, it's infinite, there's no boundary. You ask a child, how much you love your daddy? To Shemayim, to Hashem, right? What they're saying is there's no boundary. Till the furthest I know. What's the furthest I know? Till Hashem. See, so when you have one child, your first child, and people ask you how much you love your child, you're like, everything I have, everything is my child. He says, so he asks Kash, he says, this is Lubavitcher Rebbe, the father-in-law. So then how do you love your next child? If you gave everything, no boundaries to the first child, so you have nothing left. So how do you give to your second child? It's mashma that you can have 10 children and love each one of them without boundaries. And that's brought down I've learned it with you guys, in a Medrash Tanchuma, where Hashem is telling Avraham to bring his son. He says, which son? He says, Yechidcha, your only son. He says, I have two only children. Yishmael is only to Hagar, Asher Hafta, the one that you love. He says, I love them both equally. Asher Hafta Yosef, the one that you love more. And he says to Hashem, what do you mean love more? I don't have enough room in my heart to love them both equally. So what he was saying is you can give infinite love to each one. He says, but what happens then if that person, so he's giving, there's no boundary in his love for his child, right? So how do you give it to the next one? It seems to be that you're able to give no boundary, which makes no logical sense in the world of volume. If I give you the whole thing, I don't have anything to give the next one. So in a normal world, right, in the three-dimensional world, if I give you 100 pounds and I only have 100 pounds and that's all I have, I can't give you the next one 100 pounds. But it's not in the third dimension. It's in an emotional world. So I can give each one. He says, but then Nebuch, these people have a special child, Down syndrome, autistic, cancer, whatever they have. So now they got to give that kid, automatically, they give that kid more than the infinite than they gave all the other kids. So there seems to be an infinite in an infinite. In other words, each kid I'm like, Til Shemayim, Til Hashem. That's it. And those that have a child that's special needs, and they're like, past Hashem. It's not past Hashem, but so what's going on over here? So the Rebbe's father-in-law said to him, every Jew, it's beautiful, every Jew is a child of Hashem. So he loves every single Jew infinitely. Infinitely. And he's able to give the infinite love, as we understand from a parent to a child, right? The infinite love to every single Jew. He said, but if you have a Jew from South Dakota who never put on tefillin, whatever, daven. He doesn't know any mitzvahs, Torah mitzvahs. So he's a special needs child. A special needs child gets even more love than a regular child. He said to the Lubavitcher Rebbe, he said, so these people who are off the derech, right? You have to give even more love, not musar. You have to give even more love. He said that was his chinuch to become who he was, to do kiruv for everyone who knows nothing. He says, look at them as special needs Jews, and special needs Jews get more attention from Hashem than regular children.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org